If we were to use energy-producing apparatus as symbols to describe people, we would have to use a lot of different types. Life is filled with all kinds of people, and I don't know that we'd have enough apparatus or symbols to describe them all. At the lowest level, we might have a match or a can of sterno. At the highest level, we might have a nuclear power plant. In the middle, maybe a hydroelectric dam. And let's say that the middle represents an average person. A match or a can of sterno is a person who has Down syndrome, or another form of mental deformity. And a nuclear power plant is a genius. My parents were broken wood-burning stove. Now, they may have been born something else, but circumstances and poor decision-making conspired against them. And I'm sure that if they'd been able to understand true destiny, it would have made them into something beautiful, marvelous, and wonderful. As it is, my father died of addiction, my stepfather died of addiction, and my mother struggles with her own mental health issues and addiction while living on government subsidies and whatever cunning she could come up with. By some miracle, I was born a nuclear reactor. Not a nuclear power plant, but still pretty significant. The problem is that my parents had no idea what to do with such a thing. They had only seen nuclear reactors and power plants on TV, and I'm pretty sure that they were convinced that I could not be one of those. After all, there weren't any of those in our family. So they did their best to make me into a good wood-burning stove. And they were pretty sure that they were good wood-burning stove. After all, they were doing better than their parents. I imagine that they wanted me to be a better wood-burning stove than they were. That's the goal of every good parent, to make sure that their children do better than they do. So my folks kept feeding me the wood whenever it was available, but I, being a nuclear reactor, could not process it. I needed uranium and plutonium and things like that. Every time they tried to force the timber down my throat, I'd melt down and poison everything within the 3-mile radius. I just couldn't get that wood-burning stove thing down. I did try hard at times to be a good stove. Somehow, though, I knew that I wasn't like all the other stoves I saw. They knew it too. It created a lot of conflicts between us. And oftentimes, because I could create so much more energy than they could, I was accused of being arrogant, hyperactive. I understand that, though. The truth is, I did want to impress them with what I could do. I wasn't really trying to be arrogant, but I can see how it would appear that way. Now, most of the people I had conflict with were broken wood-burning stoves themselves. Broken stoves don't have any real confidence. When a person is broken, they're very sensitive. Along with that, I was a broken nuclear reactor, trying to be a good wood-burning stove, and had no real confidence myself. I was really sensitive too. So, here's the picture again. I was a broken nuclear reactor trying to be a good wood-burning stove. Everybody saw that I was failing at it, so they all assumed that I was just another broken stove. Then, I got convinced that I was a broken stove, and I was too ashamed to let anyone fix me. And when a person begins to believe that he is unfixable, hopelessness becomes his motivation, and hopelessness is no motivation at all. My life began to be a portrait of hopelessness, and hopelessness breeds death. My encouragement to you, if you're raising kids, pay attention to who they're becoming. Even give inspiration to develop what they can be. But be careful not to misshape them or bend them into something that they were never intended to be. Everybody's different. We don't have enough apparatus or symbols to describe them.